Hello. And what we're going to be working on today is basically a response from one of my posts. As I said, what type of math always seems to trip you up? Hey, I'm going to actually do it here on live. So I decided to do a combination because I had only like 2 people out of 4,000 of you guys to respond. That's okay. But the concepts we're going to be dealing with, we're going to be working on them double D's, them big double D's. Not those. Division and decimals. You nasty. So anyway, so usually decimals and division usually seems to trip a lot of people up. So not just regular division with just a fraction bar, but actually the long division. Because I remember when I was younger and we were doing well with the multiplication and then all of a sudden with the division. And when we got the experience with the long division, we're like, I don't know what I'm doing. And the reason why a lot of us struggle with the long division is because you didn't understand the secret of long division. Guess what the secret is? You have to really understand your multiplication facts. I know! On my mama, right? You gotta know your multiplication. And especially if you're trying to do your division. And if you don't understand that multiplication is basically fast addition, and then now you're trying to do advanced work with the division, which is the inverse of multiplication, you are going to be voguing all day long. And you're never going to have things meet. So what we're actually going to be doing is taking a look at various different divisors to kind of figure out how to do long division. And a lot of people will be like, yeah, I could just use a calculator. Well, guess what, home slice? You can't use a calculator during the ASVAB. You can't use a calculator for the Accuplacer. There's only certain sections you can use a calculator for the GED. So you gotta practice the way that you're going to test. All right, we need to bring that on back. So let's take a major look, and we're gonna go step by step. And again, if you're like, this is mad easy, this is not the live for you. Oh, and also, let me introduce myself. Duh, I'm assuming that everybody knows me. No. Okay, my name is Audrey Codner, and I'm the owner of Math by Audrey, as well as ACG Math Tutoring. I was a classroom teacher for 22 years in the trenches, and then I just completed 6 years of my online tutoring throughout all the United States, as well as Puerto Rico and Cairo, Egypt, and Nairobi, Kenya. So let's take a gander. Going back to my old notes. So again, we're working on the double D's. We're going to be doing division and decimals. Now, this is how I'm feeling kind of today. The devil is on my shoulder. Pray for me. Okay? Things are happening. My ring light all of a sudden decided to stop working. My printer is doing something all by itself. I think I'm possessed. It's one of those days. So now we're going to be looking at how you see division. Let me zoom in for a little bit. Okay. Hello, Lacey. Oh, you're so welcome. Give a little love to Lacey. Lacey passed her test. Woohoo! Let's hear it up. Okay, Harley girl, welcome in. Appreciate you being here. All right, let's see. Who else is in here? I'm over here just yammering on. Yes, good. Hello, John. How are you? I'm responding to your thing. Okay, so. All right. Hello, Lucy. How you doing? Okay, I think we got everyone in here. Hey, Shakira. Another person. Brenda, good morning, my dear. All right, so let's get started. See, you hear my printer in the background? Going off by itself. Hi. I'm possessed. Okay, so the way that we're used to seeing division, okay, especially when you go into algebra, you see it in fraction form. And we know that the top part is called the numerator, the bottom part is called the denominator. But when we're going back into time, when I was skinny and I thought I was fat, we're going to talk about long division. So we have our long division symbol, our fraction here. But what goes underneath, and this is what a lot of people still get mixed up with, what goes underneath, that's called your dividend. Whatever your numerator is, that goes underneath or in the house, as people would say. Okay, hello math tutor, good morning. Good morning, Angela. Now, on the outside, that's going to be the denominator coming on the outside. That's called your divisor. Okay, so we're going to be looking at divisors of various types as well as various dividends. So what your answer is, once we start bringing everything up here, that's the part that I forgot to write down. That is called, if I can get the right pen, your quotient. So that's what your answer is called. So anytime, remember we were doing word problems and we're like, what's the quotient of? So it's basically what's your answer of. Yes, Bethy. Thank you. Hello, Liz. I think it's Liz. Oh, Les. Okay. All right. So this is the part how you go from a fraction form into long division form. All right. So again, step by step. If this is a little too intensified, hey, take a moment and just watch. My replays will definitely be on my YT channel, okay, the Math by Audrey, so you can always watch the replays. If this is too easy, hey, thanks for coming by. But I'm really focusing on people that are trying to get over on their math trauma, all right? So we're going to be looking at example number 1. And we have, let's see, let's go with this one. So we have okay. So 315 and 270 thousandths divided by 5. So this is in fraction form. What we're going to do is put it in long division form. So I have my long division sign. I'm going to put it down here. And then what goes underneath? What does it start with? So you don't have to put the whole numbers down. Does it start with a 3 or does it start with a 5? What's going underneath? You can put that in the chat. What should go in to the dividend? What does it start with? Does it start with a 3 or does it start with a 5? Okay. Harley Girl is saying to start with a 3. Okay, Les is start with a 3. Okay, Sari is saying start with a 3. John start with a 3. Okay, Trey is saying start with a 5. So this is why we do it. Brenda starts with a 3. Yes, whatever my numerator is, it's going to go underneath, which is my dividend. Okay, Keisha, thank you so much. So that means we have 315 and 270 thousandths. And the 5, that's your divisor. Okay. All right. No. So, what we need to do here, in order for us to solve, we have to think of our multiplication facts, and we're doing it in reverse. So we go to each term, and I like to think of them as groups. So it's like, how many groups of 5 can go into 3? Well, none, because 5 is more than 3. So then we extend it. How many groups of 5 can go into 31? You see how you extend it? So how many groups of 5 can go into 31? Well, that is 5 groups. And the reason why 5 times 5 will give me 25. But isn't there another number we can do? There we go. Hey, Strawberry Shortcake, welcome back. Yes, because if I go 6, because 6 times 5, that would give me 30. And 30 gets us as close to 31 without going over. All right, do we see that? Good. So what we do is we put that answer underneath the 31, and what we're going to do is we're going to subtract. Because when you're dividing, you're making things smaller. If you're making things smaller, what operation makes things smaller? Subtraction. So now you got 31 minus 30. That will give me a 1. All right. So now we want to get to the next level. So we bring down the next term. Because then if I say how many groups of 5 will give me 1, that doesn't work because 5 is bigger than 1. But if I bring down the next term or extend it, how many 5s can get me 15? Well, can I say that's 3? Okay, there we go. Thank you, T Green. Appreciate you. DI, I think he's got that. All right. So now 15 minus 15, that gives me 0. But then we have this decimal point. Okay, so with this decimal point, we have to put the decimal point also in the quotient. It always should be lined up. Okay, it's not like multiplication, because when you multiply with decimals, you count how many decimal places there are, and then you put that result with your answer. But with division, very similar to what you did with addition and subtraction, you got to line up your decimal points. But now we got to bring down the next term. But right now, how many groups of 5 can go into 2? Well, that's none. But I need something to help me hold this area, this spot. Okay? So what can I use to hold a spot? Or that is a placeholder. Okay, there we go. T Green, I see you. Brenda, I see you. John, I see you. Di, I see you. Keisha, I see you. Okay. All right. T Green, definitely see you. Nini, I see you. Okay. We don't want to bring everything down yet because we need a placeholder. So we need to put a 0 here because we have to keep with the same rhythm. You ever see somebody dancing and you're like, what song are you listening to? Okay? So we want to keep with the same rhythm because what we did, we extended the 3 to the 31 and then we wrote that answer. We extended the 1 to a 15 and we wrote that answer. We extended the 0 to a 2 and we need to write an answer, which this will give me 0. So we all know that 2 minus 0 is simply going to give me 2. Now I got to bring down the next term, which is a 7. So now we need to think, how many groups of 5 can get me to close to 27? Okay, so DI is saying 5. Okay, None goes to 27. Okay, we got 5. Davidson, I see you. Onyx, I see you. User Cole, I see you. Okay, Harley Girl, I see you. John, I see you. Okay, hey, Banka, I see you. Okay, all right, so it will be 5 because 5 times 5, or 5 groups of 5, is 25. And again, we're subtracting. So that gives me 27 minus 25, that gives me 2. But we have one more term to bring down. So how many groups of 5 can go into 20? Okay, Onyx, I see you. Okay, T Green, I see you. Nini, I see you. Les, I see you. Okay, so I see you. User, I see you. Haley Girl, I see you. Brenda, I see you. John, I see you. Okay, the Legend, Claude, I see you. Sophie and Mommy, I see you. Thank you. And then when you subtract those two, this would be your remainder, which is 0. So we don't have anything that remains. So that means your quotient for this problem is going to be 63 and 54 thousandths. Okay, this is your tens, this is your hundreds, this is your thousandth position. Okay, there's no once with the th at the end. Okay, there's ones, but not once, just tens, hundreds, and thousands. All right. Okay, let's try another one. Let's try another one. We'll do this. Example number 2. So if we do, let's already put it. Okay. You're my favorite teacher already. Oh, thanks, T Green. Okay, until we do this. Then you're like, and now that's why I don't like you. All right, so we have, and this is how you read it. 84, you always start, oh, thanks, cool man. You always start with the dividend, then you talk about your divisor, okay? So if you see something like this and someone said, well, what do you divide? You don't say 3.5 divided by 84. No. You say 84 divided by 3/10 or 3.5. Now, here's the thing. When you're doing long division, they don't like having decimal points in the divisor. It's almost like a little bit of a taboo. I know, a little risque. Well, we are talking about double D's right now. We're doing long division and decimals, okay? All of a sudden, like double D's, it was like so many people that came rushing in here. Nasty. Okay? We need to move this decimal point over so we can make it into a whole number. So instead of 3.5, it's going to be 35. But here's the thing. Just like everything else in life, we got to balance things out. So we need to make our our dividend in the same situation. When you see a whole number, it's assumed that the decimal is going to be here at the end. It's assumed it's saying 84.0. Okay? So now I moved one place over to the right so I can get a whole number for the divisor. I'm going to do the same thing for the dividend. So like I said, it's assumed that it's a 0.0. So we're going to move this decimal point over one spot. Okay, yep, you got to make it into a whole number. Now, You go one spot to the right, that means you got to go one spot to the right for the dividend. So now let me rewrite this. So we have 35, and here we're going to have 840. So we actually are going to do 840 divided by 35. I'm going to just put a little indication right here that that's where the decimal is. Anytime it's a whole number, it's assumed that the decimal is going to be on the side, just in case we need it. All right. Okay. Who's Aubrey? It's 6 a.m. Is it, Jeff? It's Audrey. It's a D instead of a B. All right. Hey, Dimples. Now, let's take a look. So we really need to have a good indication of multiplication. So how many groups of 35 can go into 8? That's none, right? We could put a 0 up here. Of course you can. But anytime there's a 0 in front of a number, it's assumed that you don't really need that 0. Remember, zeros are placeholders, and we don't need anybody holding that place. So we're saying, all right, let's extend it. Let's extend it to 84. Okay? So we have Mags is telling me 2. We have Brenda saying 2. Nini is saying 2. Because 2 times 35 will give me 70. If I tried to do 35 times 3, there we go, I think. Yeah, 35 times 3, that'll give me 105. That's more than 84. So that's why we're going to use the 2. Because 2 groups of 35, that gives me 70. And since we're dividing, we're making things smaller. That's why we're subtracting. Okay? Thank you, Brenda. All right. So now, when you subtract, what do we get? 84 minus 70 gives me... I'm a little scared. 84 minus 70. There we go. Just Darling. We got Keisha. We got T Green. Where I'm at, it's 9:39 a.m. I'm East Coast. Okay. No problem. Okay, so we got 14s. We got 14s. I see D. I see Liz. I see J's. I see Cool. I see, user Cole. I see Sandro's. Okay. I see T Green. I see Nini. Okay. Griff. Awesome. Yes, because we're not all on the same playing field. All right. So just like we did, we subtract. Then we bring down. So instead of thinking of 14, we're thinking of 140. So like I mentioned earlier, 3 groups of 35, that gives me 105. So it has to be more than 3. Does 4 work for us? Brenda's saying yes. Wonder if I'm early? Yeah. Yeah, I've been doing early lately. Okay, that's 4. Yes, yes. Good. So you bring down the 0. Yes, good. Excellent. Because 4 times 5 gives me 20. Carry the 2. 4 times 3 is 12. Plus the 2 gives me 14. And we subtract. Okay? So our quotient, which is our answer, is going to be 24. Summer school hours, yes, definitely. Because it's like crickets when I go on at 7 o'clock and I'm like, it does something to my psyche. But you guys are up. Scrolling, just scrolling. What should I buy on the A? Okay. All right. So, key part with this example is anytime you have a decimal in the divisor, you need to make it into a whole number. So how many times you move that decimal point over is exactly how many times you need to move it over in the dividend before you get started. All right? Let's see your videos. Oh, well, thank you, Sandra. Appreciate you. Okay. Now, also, you guys can go onto my YT, which is Math by Audrey, and you can see all the replays. So if you're at work, I don't want you to get fired because guess what, boo boo? I'm trying to just save my house right now and try to figure out how I'm going to get mortgage done and everything. But don't you lose your job over me. That's crazy. Because you ain't living over here. So, all right. So let's try. Let's see if we can get like two more in. All right. Example. What was I doing? Oh, I got a couple more actually. Oh, it's called Math by Audrey. There you go. You would look Audrey when you wake up. All right. Okay. Not a problem. All right. Yes, John. Except for one thing. There's two twos, but one's supposed to be one. Not a problem. So, you have your 1.6. You have your 51.52. So this is when we have to do, we can't have a decimal in the divisor. So just similar to what John was saying, we need to move this decimal point over one space. The same thing has to happen in your dividend. That means I need to move this decimal place over one space. So instead of it being between the 1 and the 5, it's going to be between the 5 and the 2. So we're actually going to be dividing not 1.6, but we're actually going to take 515 and 2/10 divided by 16. Okay, you see it now, John? There you go. All right. So now we have to ask ourselves some questions. I know. Okay? So whatever we do, we move this over one decimal place. That means we need to move this over one decimal place. So now we need to think. 16. We got to think in groups of 16. Like one group of 16 is 16. Two groups of 16 is what? 32? I know. I'm still getting my brain together. All right? So if I try to go three groups of 16, what's that? That's okay. See, my thing is some people weren't taught at all. And I know a lot of people were going to be like, yes, Mira, got you. Okay, Les, got you. Appreciate that. Okay? Some people were taught multiple ways. So let's just keep it simple. Okay? Yes. So 48 will get me closer to 51 than the 2. All right? So here we go. Oops. Thought I turned it off. So we're going to do our 3 is going to be in our quotient. Our 48 is coming down. And since we're making things smaller because we're dividing, we're actually going to subtract those two. So 51 minus 48 gives me what? Okay, will give us our 3. There you go, your mama. I see you. Usual code, I see you. Haley girl, I see you. Alright. Careful with the 1, because remember, we're borrowing from here to make it into a 4, and then we have 11 minus 8. So 11 minus 8, that will give us our 3. Okay? Yep. And then we're bringing down the 5. Okay? So now we got to think, all right, how many groups of 16 will give me 35? Kantar. You are smart, team. What are you talking about? There you go, User Cole. There you go, Les. There you go, Mara. I appreciate you. Yeah, yo, mama, I see you. Okay, careful, John. Okay, oh, we already brought down the 5. Okay, CS, I see you. Aquawave, I see you. All right, so we're looking at that too. So that will give us our 32. All right, so 35 minus 32 will give me what? All right, so Mira, we got my 3. Aquawave 3, your mama, Liz, there you go. Excellent, everyone. Now, what? Okay, Samoa King, thank you so much. El Lovely, thank you so much. Brenda, thank you so much. What do we need to do next? Yes, that's one thing we can do. We could bring down the 2. But what's another major thing we need to do? Yes. Okay. Les is saying it. Yes, she is. Yes, she is. We have to bring up this decimal point. The reason why I didn't do it earlier, because I needed something in this spot. But we're making sure that those 2 decimal points are lined up. Good morning, McTom. How are you? So now we're trying to say, okay, how many groups of 16 will give me 32? Well, didn't we just find that? Yes. There we go, guys. So then 32 minus 32 will give us 0. So we do not have a remainder. All right. So that means our finished product is 32 and 2/10. Yep. Ooh. All right. Excellent question. I was kind of waiting for someone to be like, challenge me, woman. All right, so what do we do when the number is left over? Okay, we can do one of several things. We can actually not talk too much about decimals, but what we'll be talking more so about mixed numbers. All right, so glad you said that, because we're going to do that for our next one. I know, you're right there in my brain. I love it. All right, so let me change colors. Let me go here. So we're going to be looking at example 4. So all of these, if you need more practice with this, all of these are part of my system that I designed. The Algebra at Your Pace. I know you have seen some of the posts of it. I know you have seen samples of my lives. I know you have seen copies of my books. This is why I put the systems together, so you can do extra practice from these. Okay? Yes. So what's left over, if you guys see, hold on, let me grab you, user. Okay? What's left over, that's called the remainder. Okay? Think about it. All right? You had the pie, maybe it's just like delicious, maybe it's apple pie, whatever, and or maybe cake. You know, cake usually goes with. No, you know what? Brownies. We all know a good brownie. Doesn't matter if it's an end, a middle piece, whatever. But after you sit, you make the brownies, it's delicious, it's ooey, it's gooey, and then you eat, and then what remains? Remains is the crumbs. That's what's left over. Okay? What's left over is what remained in the pan. It is your remainder. So it's part of that whole pie or that whole pan of brownies. So what remains, and you're like, I ate the whole thing. Hells yeah, I ate the whole thing. Life is short. Just have to work it out sometimes. But hey, you're going to have one of those cheat days, go crazy. Maybe not eat the whole pan, but you know what I'm saying. But that's what fractions are. Fractions is basically you had a whole item and you're taking pieces away from that whole item and you're looking at what remains. Okay, so you could be talking about what you took from the pan versus what stays in the pan, or sometimes you might have a situation what stays in the pan and you're trying to figure out how much you ate. Okay, so that's what it's all like. Had one last night, right? So see, brownies work. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to divide 150. I'm going to keep it as whole numbers for right now, so it won't be too crazy. So we have 150 divided by 24. Like, ooh, we have two even numbers. Okay, anything ends with a 0, that's an even number. Okay, anything that's divisible by 2 is an even number. So now we have to think. So I'm not talking about decimals. Okay, you feel like I can draw? Yeah, no. Stick figures, I'm a beast at stick figures. So again, 24. How many 24s can go into one? None. How many 24s to 15? None. How many 24s to 150? Okay. How many 24s, how many groups of 24s can get into 150? What do you think? Okay. So like 24 times 4? So 24 times 4, that will give me what? 96. Okay. So if I go 24 times 5, that will get me close to 120. Okay. Let's see if we can push the envelope. What's 24 times 6? Okay, we're switching it up. That's okay, Angie. No problem. I love that. Okay, so 24 times 6, that would get me to 144. That's as close as 150. Because if I go 24 times 7, that's what it was, 168. Okay. Hey, and I appreciate that you're here, Angie. Look. We're all sucking it up and we're trying. Did you? Oh, you weren't here in the beginning. This is how I was feeling. The devil was trying to get me. I know, he's breathing down my neck right now. Like right on the right-hand side. Like, get off. Okay? So if I try to go to 7, that's going to give me 168. That's more than 150. So obviously, we're going to go with 6 whole groups of 24, which gives me 144. So since we're doing division, we're going to subtract these two numbers. Okay? All right? So now, okay, why was you close? I don't know. So we have like 144. So 150 minus 144 will give me 6. Okay? Yes. So you're borrowing from that 5 to make this into a 4. You're making that 0 into a 10. So the 4 minus 4 and the 1 minus 1, that's going to give me 0. We don't need that placeholder. But the 10 minus 4, that gives me 6. Now, normally we would put a decimal here, add maybe 1 or 2 zeros to figure out what would it be as a decimal. But this right here is my remainder, okay? This is what remains in the pan of brownies. So what we can do is we can set it as a fraction. And like I said, a fraction is what remains out of the whole thing. So what remains is 6. So we're going to say there's 6 pieces of brownies left after a whole pan of 24. We were mad hungry. What kind of nonsense you walked into? Alexander, we're working on double D's, baby. Yeah. Okay. All right. So, your remainder. So instead of constantly putting the decimal, you can make your answer into what's called a mixed number. So we're kind of done, but we can clean things up. So let me bring this 6 and 6/24 down. Let's talk about the 6/24. So we're doing a little bit of fraction work because that's another thing a lot of people freak out about. So why did we change 150 to 140? Because we're dividing, my dear. Okay, when you're dividing 150 divided by 24, we want to get as close to 150 as best as possible. Okay, so now we have 6/24. 6 and 24 are both even numbers. So what we could do is divide by 2. Okay, that's one thing we could do. Or we can find what will be the greatest common factor. That means we're looking at factors. So where would I find a 6? So I know I would find a 6 in the 1 times table, the 2 times table, the 3 times table, as well as the 6 times table. I know I would find a 24 in the 1 times table, 2 times table, 3s, 6, I forgot about the 4 times table. Oops. 4 times table, then the 6 times table. Then we have the 8 times table, the 12s, and the 24s. So, what is the greatest common factor? Okay. What does the greatest common factor they have for 6 and 24? It will be your 6. There we go. They both have 2, but the greatest common is going to be 6. That's what the GCF is. So when they say what is the greatest common factor, you're finding factors of each of the numbers and you're looking at the largest one. Okay? So that means I can divide the numerator and the denominator by that 6. That's how you reduce fractions. So 6 divided by 6 will give me what? Good morning, Queen of Spades. It's like I could. Just go ahead and message me. So 6 divided by 6, thank you everyone. That gives me my 1. And then 24 divided by 6 is what? There you go. T Green, thank you. LT, there you go. John, thank you. Okay. So what you just reduced was the fraction. So 6 brownies remained out of 24. Basically, what remains is 1/4 of the pan. So we have our whole number of 6 and 1/4 for this 150 divided by 24. So that's what it looks like when you have a number that is your remainder. Okay? Now if you're doing decimals, and sometimes decimals will carry on and on and on and on and on. What's 1/4 as a decimal? Got to push it a little bit further. What's 1/4 as a decimal? There you go, Richard. Thank you. You do 4Ks? All right. Okay. Harley Girl, thank you. Forever Danny, thank you. Or Danny, Thank you. Nusa, hello. Okay, but you got it as a decimal. So 0.25. Let's see, 25. I got you. Because sometimes I gotta remember that some international countries, they don't do a decimal point, they do commas. All right, 25%. There you go. All right, so that's what we're working on. We're working on our double D's. So your double D's are basically decimals and division. So John, did this help? Okay, did this help? So I'm so glad you put that in there. And a lot of people are glad you put that in there. Definitely more than 57. So these are the things that you will actually see. And if you need more assistance to help you with, say, the GED, the ASVAB, the Accuplacer, the TEAS test, the HESI test, any of those basic concepts that you need help with, maybe ACT and SAT, they're all located inside my Algebra at your pace. Okay, I designed a book for it, a whole entire ecosystem. All right, awesome. Okay, so a whole entire ecosystem for this. So if anything, for volume 1, we were talking about integers and decimals. We even talked a little bit about fractions, okay? All you do is you scan a QR code, and then I come on and I break down the concepts. So after you write down your notes of everything, and then also a section for your practice problems, you guys can work on the extra practice problems yourselves. So we got some of those that's right here, some of them in Word form, so you can practice how you're going to be assessed, all right? And then we have all the concepts, and at the end you get like a chapter quiz. And then after you do the chapter quiz, at the very back, I give you reference pages, because there are certain things and certain rules we forget. So why not have a lot of these? Okay, so that'll be your decimal. We got operations, we got exponents. Hey, right here, this is similar to what we just did. Okay, going from a fraction to a decimal. All right, maybe a decimal to a fraction, or that's what we were doing. So all of those things, and even the fraction to percent, all of those are there, as well as factor sheets, also words for helping you with word problems. All of this is here. So you can actually purchase this directly from my profile. So if you go, let me see if I can help you out. Boom, boom, boom. So it's gonna come on. All right. So if you go, click on my face, and then you do it a couple times, you'll actually see my profile. And right here where it says Stand Store. Sorry, let me clear that up a little bit. Right here where my Stand Store, if you click on the Stand Store, then, whoa, very bright. All right, here we go. So then at the as you scroll through, it will give you all of my resources. So Algebra at Your Pace, it's a 10-book series. So maybe there's just a certain section that you need assistance with. But you can take a free skills check. If you go in there, you're like, oh dear God, I don't know where to start, I'm feeling overwhelmed. Well, then these are all of my digital downloads. All of these are ebooks. E-B-O-O-K-S, okay? So that means you can download it and get access to it today. You don't have to wait for the mail. You don't have to wait when they're going to print it up. You can actually get access to it. But remember, if you do want physical books, you can get that, okay? So I have a starter system. So the starter system, it will start you off with volume 1 and volume 2, as well as it will give you a practice test book. So the practice test book is like 210 questions, okay? Let me show you that real quick. So it comes with this book where you practice full-length tests, so you can do like a mock test. So when you go into one of the chapters, you can sit down and it will give you a section of 35 questions. Try to do it at best of your ability, and it does come with an answer key. All right. So this one is the practice exam book. Okay, so that's what this one is, Courtney. So the practice exam book. So we have two practice books. But if I'm talking about the starter system, you will get, let me actually go to it so you can see it. Okay, with the starter system, you will get, especially for those that are just starting and feeling a little overwhelmed and not sure where to start, you will get volume 1 and volume 2 of Algebra at Your Pace. You will get the practice exam book, which I just showed you. But for volume 2, I actually put a video answer key. So you can actually see how I answered the extra practice and the quiz section for volume 1 to see if that's what you like to see. Because a lot of people, you can get an answer key in the back of a book, and most of the times you're like, what are you saying? Like, I have no idea. So this is what you will get for the starter system, and that is for $42. Now, if you don't like anything, you can always back out. You don't have to say, oh, I got to pay for this right here, right now. I have other ones as well. This one is just a complete of all my books, but this one gives you the complete version of all my books, including all 10 of the Algebra at Your Pace, the practice book that I showed you, and also the ASVAB math practice book. So if you just want to be like, oh, I'm trying to get my ASVAB and I want to get more word problems, that's why I have the ASVAB math book. And that comes with 3 quizzes and a bonus quiz, okay? And all that will come in. So with those books, but if you really want the answer keys with it, you're going to want to take a look at the complete, because this has the video answer keys with it, okay? So it all depends on what you want. If you want to get started and you don't know where to start, my suggestion will be the starter system. Now, if you're just like, yeah, I want just the practice, well then let me scroll past, because these are the individual books. And remember, all of these are ebooks. But if you want the actual paper copy book from the A, let me scroll down to that. You go all the way down to the bottom, because I have lots of resources. And it physically says physical books and resources on the A, because I can't say that word. So if you want your physical books, all you have to do is click on Shop Resources. And then you'll see part of my website, which will take you to whatever, a small description of what each of the volumes are. And you can order your physical copies through here. The only thing that I need is your name and your email, because when things go to the A, I can't see who's ordering my books, so I can't say thank you, or I can say, hey, how you doing? I can't do any of that if I have no idea who's ordering from the A. So I just want to let you know. Can the ebooks be printed? Of course, yes. And you have full access to your ebooks. Okay, full, complete, and other access. So these are what the physical books are looking at. If you want to see the video, you can see the video as well. All right, so let me exit out of that. But let me speed fast so you won't be like, what's happening? Now, if you're into just the practice books, then you can go to either the GED for just the practice book, and you can go to the math, just the practice book. But what I added was guided practice. That means you can get the practice book and the video recording of me breaking down each and every single solitary problem. Yes, she is crazy. Okay? But I do it from the love of you, because in order for you to understand what's going on, of a lot of us, if we were able to read the backs of the books for the answer key, then we wouldn't be here on TikTok looking at my live. All right? So you can either get the video recording for the practice test, or if you're doing ASVAB and you just want to work on the practice, you get the video recording of the practice as well. All right. So all of these ebooks, once you download it, you can print it. Okay, but there are some people that definitely just want a printed copy. That's why I went all the way down to the bottom to give you the access to practice books. Okay. Now, other resources I have, which I've been popping on my lives here and there, especially if you're trying to work out word problems, you can go to this one to do like a matching. And then we have multiplying. If you struggle with your multiplying, we got multiplication cards as well as division flashcards to work on these concepts. So you can have fun. Take a look. Exponents, okay? Cubes and squares. Anything you can think of. The formula reviews for most of the formulas that you're going to see on those exams. So that might be able to give you some access. And if you're interested in tutoring, you can go ahead and schedule a call. Let's talk about it. Let's see if tutoring is your best option. The books might even be your best option, because remember, you're going to have me on the video breaking down concepts just like I did here for the live. Okay? You need them all beginnings? Okay. If you need all of it, I'm not going to stop you. But if you need everything, okay, except for the resources, but if you need all the videos, the walkthroughs and everything, this is going to be your best bet right here. The complete ebook series and video answer keys. That's going to be the section that you're going to need. Okay, Courtney, the algebra book you showed us was volume 1? Yes. Yep, this is volume 1. The very beginning. Okay, so it starts off with the different types of numbers, and that's what a lot of us need. And it's okay. You're using it as a refresher. Don't think, oh, I gotta start from the very beginning, I'm stupid. No, you're not stupid. Okay, so what I did was I improved this. So I put one QR code in the beginning of the pages, and what you'll get is a playlist of all the videos that's associated with this book. So then it walks you through. You need to take down notes. This is guided notes for you to check up on some things. Okay? Then if you want additional notes, you can write it on the back. Some additional practice since it's a short video. Okay? And here's some extra practice problems. And then here's some extra concepts. So the answer is generally in the very back. Then we start talking about adding integers. Then subtracting integers. Then we talk about multiplying and dividing integers. And each concept gives you extra practice problems. Okay, so I'm walking you through this. You are not alone. I just want to emphasize that. You used to feel alone because when you had questions, all you had was Bob. Bob is the back of the book. And when you went to the back of the book, you started memorizing the answer key instead of, well, why am I doing that? Because I need to understand. When you have to answer the question why, it builds up. More synapses are firing, more your memory is sticking. Okay? So all of this for volume 1. So when we want to go through all the volumes, so volume 2, let me move my stuff around. So volume 2, it really hits harder with functions and factors and ratios. Okay, order of operation. This is the biggest thing that's constantly shown here on TikTok. Order of operations. It's crazy. And it also has like a little bit of word problems. Okay, percent to decimals and fractions. So we're doing a little bit more. We're doing more with the proportions, order of operations, okay, scientific notation. So more of the word problems. And in the very back, I give you matching cards to do more work and more practice with the order of operation. It comes with the book. So all you have to do is just see to simplify it and see if you can match it. You can either take it out of the book or you can make copies of it. Okay, that's why I think the ebook is so much easier, because you can get all this and you can print out what you need. It's great for teachers. It's great for homeschool parents as well. And then, of course, I give you an answer key, so it's easy for you to, check the matching. After you do this, then we start doing solving equations, solving one-step, two-step, multi-step equations. Then we get into the tougher stuff, which is slope. A lot of people, hello my GED people, please listen up. This is a 4-point questions. Anything that's dealing with slope, equation of line, graphing, system of equations, 4-point questions. And the reason why you haven't passed it is because you keep skipping these. All right? Well, I know where my next paycheck is going. Simple and easy, thank you. No problem, okay? So then, for volume 5 and 6, is inequalities, system of equations, system of inequalities, dealing with the shading, absolute values, okay? All of that is here, how to graph them, how to solve them. Everything is step by step, and you're not by yourself. The reason why I call it algebra at your pace is because you're doing these concepts at your pace. So if you want to take a look at this stuff and the only time you have is 1 o'clock in the morning, go for it. I will not be there. But I know some of my spirit will be there. And all you have to do is scan the QR code, maybe bookmark it, and then boom, anytime you got a moment, you got 20 to 30 minutes, watch a video, okay? Then we also start digging a little bit deeper. Now we're going into more like Algebra 2 advanced stuff. If you can get these first 5 books situated, okay, going through all of this, this is the great majority of the GED and the beginning parts of ASVAB. If you want to get up to close to 31, that's the first 5 books, okay? But if you want to go past the 31, that's when we're talking about factoring. That's where we're talking about things that are non-linear. So we're talking about polynomials, factoring polynomials, adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing polynomials. Okay, then we're talking about the different ways we're going to factor completely, factor completing the square. Okay, all of that is all mentioned in here. Then you're also looking at radicals, like the square roots, the cube roots. Now we're looking at rationals, how to simplify expressions. We're also looking at geometry, area, circumference, surface area, volume, Pythagorean theorem, okay, distance formula. That's the geometry of it. Then we're looking at probability, statistics. We're looking at mean, median, mode, range, interquartile range. Then we're looking at how to read a circle. How to read a circle graph, a line graph. So all of that from beginning to end. So the thing that I think a lot of us fear is, I don't want to teach you, like the way you're going to test it, it's going to be jumbled. But you need to understand the beginning so you can, when you get closer to the end, you're like, oh, because you're going to see things go like, I'm moving forward, I'm spiraling back. I'm moving forward, I'm spiraling back. Then I'm moving forward, a little spiral back, I'm moving forward. That's what math does. Okay? So if this is something that you need, hey, I got the solution for you. If you go to my profile, okay, at the very top, where it says Stand Store, okay, right here with the little finger arrow. I know it's kind of hard to read because it won't stop being unblurry. Thank you. So we just click onto that. And then inside my Stand Store, you can see everything. Now, here's my thing. There's this icon right here. If you ever want to see any of my videos, okay, most of my replays, oh, what's going on with that? I gotta fix that. Okay, if anything, you can go to Math by Audrey. I'm glad I saw that. If you go to Math by Audrey, it will take you to my YT. And my YT, you can see all the replays of all these lives. So if you're like, what did she say again? You can go to the live. Just give me some time to download this. Then, if you want, it's all my ebooks are here. If you need the physical books, go all the way down to the bottom and you'll actually see that says physical books on the A. All right. So my suggestion, if you want to get started, you can do your starter pack, which will tell you, it will give you volume 1 and volume 2 of my Algebra at Your Pace books. Plus it will give you the big practice exam book of 210 questions. Okay. And it will give you a video breakdown of the extra examples as well as the quiz from volume 1, just to see if the videos is something that you like. So I'm trying to put it together that it's not so overwhelming. Okay, yeah, give me all 10 books. But then all of a sudden, after you get to like book 1 or book 2, you're like, ugh. And then here's the thing. You can actually email me if you get stuck. Now, I'm not doing it as a personal one-to-one tutoring. It's just a moment for you to get unstuck. Because if you order it now, from now to August 7th, I will make myself available for adults from 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to 6:30. And you're like, Audrey, I understood this, but I'm a little stuck. And then you can ask questions. I like to call it the reassurance sessions. So then now you got a person that can help you get unstuck, so now you can move forward. I want to make sure that you're going to be okay. Okay? All right? So go ahead. Do it right now. Take a look. If you want to try the free sample, you can try the free sample. And then if you want the starter system, you can go ahead and order the starter system. But if you have any questions, let me speak to you like human beings. Hi, how you doing? But if you have any questions before you purchase, go ahead, send me a message. Click on my picture. Might have to do it a couple times, but then send me a message. Even if we're not friends yet, send me a request. Tell me what test you're taking and what are you thinking. I saw your live and I'm trying to take my GED. Is it the first time? Is it your multiple times? Just tell me before you purchase. I'd rather we have a conversation to make sure that you're on the right path instead of just going ahead and giving me money. I will gladly take your money, but I want to make sure I'm giving you what you need. And if my resources is not what you need and I know someone that can help you, I will pass that information on to you. I'm not about like taking your money. All right. Okay, New Jersey assessment of skills and knowledge state. Okay, they changed that from September to August at 9 a.m. in person. Oh, okay. All right. Keep studying. Because Angel, he's actually is currently using the books. So how are the books going, Angel? Okay. So why are you nervous? Because you're putting the work in. So if they move it up, they move it up. I don't know what the reason for moving it up to. They help a lot. Good. All right. So that's the whole thing. It's here to help now. Being nervous, you're going to get the understanding. You're going to learn the whole concepts. And again, they moved it up a month. But guess what? It's not even July yet. Remember that. And you started, what, like a week ago? So my whole thing now, that's like, what's the pace? What's the pace that you have to go on? And that's what you just have to do. Okay? So just because they moved it up doesn't mean that you freak out. Because you're already doing what you want to do. Right? I know. I feel like June has just slowed down for some reason. Okay? Because I was like, what happened to April? What happened to May? All right? So it's still June. We still have what? Like 4 more days? 3 more days? Then it's July, which is fine. Part 2 will be September 25th. Okay. All right, so you just have to get with the part 1. All right, cool. So you have time, but you don't want to waste time. All right? Okay? So that's what I have for you guys for this morning. One, thank you so much for listening to my crazy behind. I know I probably kind of deceived you a little bit with the double D's, and everybody's like, I'm going to watch it and see what she got going on. Nasty. Okay, so why would they break the test into 2 parts? That's New Jersey. I don't know. Maybe they're doing one that's going to be basically naked math, just straight up solve this equation, solve that equation, and the other one might be word problems. They used to do HSAs like that years ago. They used to have what's called the BCR, or brief constructed response, and the ECR, extended constructed response. So they might want you to say, well, how do you solve this? And you're writing down how you would solve it. So they want to actually see you solve work. Usually, sometimes they do that. Yep, the terms are mind-blowing. I know, right? ECRs, BCRs. So they might be doing that, but I'm not certain. So you might want to check with New Jersey to see what is part 1 and what is part 2. Or just call them and ask them. Because for them to all of a sudden move you up, what's up with that? Like, and if you need that extra time, call them. Call them. Raise a fuss. Okay. Alrighty. So, again, if you guys need anything, think you can talk soon. We schedule an appointment with you either tomorrow or Sunday. Okay. Alright. So if you guys need anything, please let me know. Go ahead and message me. If you want to go ahead and place your orders for things, please, that would be awesome. If you want to just try the sample test and to see how your skills are, you can do that as well. All right. So I will see you guys tomorrow or maybe later on this afternoon. I haven't really decided yet, but we'll see. We'll see if anybody else comes up with any other things that they want me to go over. All right. So have a lovely day, and I will talk with you soon. Take care.